a vicious cycle.
Yes.
I want to say quagmire. Okay, see, so INEC versus political parties versus the voters. Then in the mix you have the party agents, you have money playing different and all that.
Party agents who are not necessarily party members.
Who are not party members. So they're just, it's like they're employed for that, for that purpose. How do we get out of all of this?
Well, I think the first thing to try and do is to depersonalize, as he has said. Remove the human
involve more machines.
Try to reduce it to the barest minimum, starting with the registration for party membership, up to party primaries. Because most parties now, they operate like a limited company. You have promoters who later become the majority shareholders, who now determine who will be directors,
the godfathers.
And they become godfathers. So they are the ones who will also tell people to go and queue up and vote.
Vote for
they
this
have already told this is the person. Here in Lagos, ever before the APC will hold this primary, some fathers in Lagos were already telling us somebody will be governor. It was in the media very well.
Yes.
So Ambode knew that the deed has been done. So whether you vote or you don't vote, I am the next governor. And that's why it doesn't really feel accountable to the people. You can impose any tax on them any time. So this thing also goes to credibility. You understand? And if we try to depersonalize, it will solve the problem to a large extent. But we also know that human beings will operate the depersonalized system. But you can track if there is any foul play, you can track. Now, also in voting, by the time we go fully electronic, the problem or maybe the war will now shift from between the political parties and politicians and voters now to the cyberspace. In the cyberspace, you can track. If somebody violates the process, it will show clearly.
Find it.
And that's one of the reasons why they are.
When you say this dehumanizing the electoral process,
yes.
Dehumanizing or depersonalizing the electoral process, there are those who will say some of those we want to look at as our examples have been doing this the human way.
Yes.
So the problem is not about dehumanizing; it's about
depersonalizing.
We use technology. What we are saying is that we should.
Humanizing is more.
Yes.
Okay, remove the human factor as much as possible.
Yes.
Now, there are those that argue that if you remove the human factor, the advanced democracies we copy, most of them still do physical voting. They are not doing electronic.
But that is exceptional situations. For instance, somebody who cannot operate the electronic system, there will be a manual nearby where he can use. But in Nigeria today, majority of voters, qualified voters, are youths. Many of them, they can transfer money on their phones.
And they have smartphones.
They have smartphones. So why don't you make it easy for them? But the politicians are afraid. So this quagmire, the politicians are actually the genesis and the revelation of it. Okay. They are the alpha and omega. They are the ones creating most of the problem. As INEC, as the even National Assembly who amend these laws, they are all politicians. As all people are trying to look at how to make elections credible, they also spend sleepless nights to also begin to calculate and strategize. How do we beat the system? It is happening.
There's a tweet here from Morgan, and Morgan says the just concluded Big Brother voting was done via our phones and website, and it was credible. I support the ease of voting.
Yes.
Let me just weigh in here, because there seems to be so much discussions going on without really pinning it down on what should be done 1, 2, 3, 4, just in our usual way. Even national budget is like national essay. We will build bridges to this. How are you going to do it? The campaign messages, I will marry wives for all the youths that have not been married. Where do you get the money? Where is the mental condition for that? Where do you get the... Nobody takes things down to how
Basics.
It is only I will. So now the electoral process is a process. It's not an event. Election is not an event. It's a process. In the same manner that eating is a process. Eating is not an event. For you to eat, the farmer would have done his own to the point that you went to the market based on your purchasing power to bring it to the kitchen and it's on the table. You are only told to maintain table manners. If I will quote one of the campaigners,
Yes,
that you maintain table manners. But after eating, a lot of other biological processes take place that eventually lead to growth and development of the individual.
Yes.
If an election does not lead to the growth and development of the society and the individuals that comprise that society, it has no utility. And so when we're talking about depersonalizing the process, it is to make sure that what you garbage in as the right thing should come out right and impact positively. And there are many ways of getting this thing done.
Mr. Naji, in fact, we're running out of time, so the three of you should just like give us solutions.
Very well. That is exactly what I want to narrow down. Maybe one or two on my own, because there's a plethora of things that should be done other than so much of this verbiage. The issue is, when we go depersonalized, it will check this trans-border movement. Because a whole lot of issues of registration of who is a Nigerian and at what age, and so this data will be available. Once you punch, the thing will register. And that is the depersonalization process we're talking about. It is immaterial to the managing director of a bank that 45 people went to the ATM. He may be having breakfast in the morning, and the thing will be doing chon, chon, chon. It doesn't concern him anymore because the programming has been done and done right, and somebody is checking the correct thing. So let us look at our electoral process and have people who have the intelligence and knowledge to do that. And it takes the president in our climb who will be interested in one term to do things permanently right and leave the thing for posterity. But if you are involved in a problem, you can't solve it.
Yes.
Mr. Ojo?
Yes, I think there is so much to be done. There is need for the system to also try and maybe punish offenders. The electoral offenses are committed in every election, but nobody gets punished. So there's no deterrence. So
Brian Mantu is still working free.
It's still working free. So everything keeps on repeating itself. Like what happened to the child on Monday.
Yes.
It's still happening on Friday.
It will happen even on Saturday.
It will happen on Saturday.
No effort to check it.
So if the repercussion is not there, people will still repeat the same thing in new ways and new styles. I've seen some penal clauses in the Electoral Act. For instance, the influence of money. Money is still dominating our politics. You say the president must not spend more than 1 billion naira for his electoral this thing.
Electoral essay.
Yes.
Not
now,
essay.
it will take 6 months after election, after he has been sworn in, before INEC will now wake up to say, let us see your expenses, when he's already the president.
Okay.
So that one is already defeated. You understand? So it's like indirectly they have approved that yes, money must dominate this because nobody will ever be able. Even if a president is caught, he will only pay 1 million naira penalty as fine, which he can even pay in advance.
Let's get Mr. Margo. Mr. Margo, as we wind down, what to do?
Well, there are clear, dangerous things that President Obasanjo bequeathed to us, which we must win ourselves away from. First is that if you go across the states, and even in the federal, you hear things like leader of the party. There is no party that has constitution, that has leader of the party in its constitution. So the state governors have appropriated, and the president himself have appropriated that title to themselves, and have usurped the power of elected organs of political parties. The president woke up one morning and instituted a reconciliation committee in APC, and everybody is clapping for him. It's an usurpation of the functions of the National Working Committee of his party. He is just one member of that political party. We remember that in the days of Akinloye, President Shehu Shagari will not sit at the top table in a party meeting. But today, meetings are held, party meetings are held in government houses and in the villa. So you've come to that time where even elected officials of the political party are errand boys of chief executives. They are the chairman of the local government and his wife are leaders of the political party in the local government. The councillor is the leader of the political party in the ward. And so elected members have no power. They can't even decide anything. So we need to do a surgery in our party system.
You have made your point, Mr. Wago. Thank you very much. That's where we have to anchor this segment for today. I'd like to thank Mr. Ezenwa Wago, social commentator, who joined us from Abuja, as well as the two legal practitioners who were in our Lagos studios, Mr. Olashupo Ojo and Mr. Chima Naji. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The discussion continues.
Yes.